Hey, my Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. So I'm going to do a pairing I don't do often. Taurus and Gemini. Sitting in a tree. Kissing. Let me start here and let me say thank you to everybody that has liked, shared, and subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you. I love you. Y'all humble me every day. Just thank you. Thank you. That's all I can say about that. If you want information about a private reading, hit me up at tarotattarot@gmail.com. I shuffled these already. I just have not cut them. So this is going to be 3 for the recent past, 2 for current energy, and 3 for future energy. And I will let the oracle cards fall where they will. This is some excitement going on here with Taurus and Gemini. Let's see what we got going on. Authority and emotional loss. Okay. In your recent past, material and spiritual prosperity, intuition, and fertility. So this is not going to resonate with everybody, obviously. Current energy, wisdom, awareness, patience, and planning. Okay. Future energy, sacral chakra, or the I want, rejoice and celebration, and partnerships and alliances. This ain't a bad reading. I know y'all sitting there like, huh? Where's the little cards? Here we go. And from the little deck. Oh, they just both popped out at the same time. So, Hermit on top of authority and emotional loss, Queen of Coins. This is a reminder I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. Recent past, material and spiritual prosperity pulls the Knight of Coins. The intuition card pulls the Princess of Cups. The fertility pulls the Seven of Swords. Current energy, wisdom pulls the Five of Swords. Awareness pulls the Nine of Swords. Patience and planning pulls the Five of Coins. Sacral chakra pulls the Three of Cups. Rejoice and celebration, Ten of Wands. And partnerships and alliances, the Four of Coins. Well, Taurus, with the hoo-ha is going on here with your Gemini. Usually signs that are back-to-back. So Aquarius and Pisces, or Pisces and Aries, Taurus and Gemini, Gemini and Cancer. Usually you will find levels of conflict in those relationships just naturally because they're so close to each other. Usually it's an incompatible pairing, if you will, like water and earth, not water and earth, air and earth, or fire and water. It's usually something quirky. But what I'm beginning to find is I keep doing this and keep learning more about astrology, the little bit that I do know. A lot really depends on what you have in your natal chart. So you can be a Taurus and have an Aquarius rising sign and a Pisces moon sign and get along with an air sign or a water sign like it ain't nothing. It really depends on what you have in your natal chart. So I'm going to start there and say that. So for some of you, and this is not going to resonate with everybody, eat the fish, leave the bones. Some of you, this is not necessarily a new relationship. And by new, I mean within the last year or so. For some of you, this has been some other kind of relationship, or a couple storylines, or you've been separated for some reason. Maybe somebody went off to the service, or maybe somebody went away to school, or maybe somebody moved away to take care of their parents or somebody in their family. And now all of this shit is coming right back together. Whether by divine circumstance or just circumstance, whichever, it's just kind of all coming back clumped up here. And this is why you got this here. And this is Gemini shit. So both of you may be worried. You're aware now of what you got going on in your relationship, or that you have a relationship, or that you have the potential to have a relationship. and this is your challenge and your goal for the next month or so, becoming aware of your situation. And it might have, for some of you, it may have you up at night. Not just that this is an air card as it relates to Gemini. I think this is really more related to Aquarius, but it's air energy anyway. And so it's about the being up at night and worried, not in a bad sense, but for some of you that maybe are rekindling and coming back together. Will this work? Can it work? There may be some glitches or something somewhere. Somebody may still be traveling quite a bit for work or for school. Some of you may have kids. Both of you may have kids in some situations, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to blend these families together. That kind of energy. So your challenge here is being aware of what you have and what you're into, and trying to just sort through it. You know me, I'm going to tell you, take your butt to bed. Just forget it till tomorrow. Ain't no sense of sitting up all night worrying and trying to figure shit out. And I guess if I had to really be honest about the energy, it's really not wanting you to do this, even though this is probably what you're going to do anyway. It's really not wanting you to do this, but the universe wants you to be aware of why you're doing it. I'm like, y'all like, what? Yeah, why are you up? Making you aware of why you're doing it. Awareness. Becoming aware in totality of the situation that you're in. And this is not bad energy, so I may be making it sound all crazy and somber and shit. It really isn't. But it's that mind thing, and getting your mind aligned with where you're trying to take your relationship. So we come back up here to your overall energy, the front end, the authority with the Hermit card. Major energy, major arcana, and the only major card on the board, which in some regards we'll say is a good thing, but maybe in other situations you just won't see big movement. This is a situation that kind of flows in and out for Gemini and Taurus, or Taurus and Gemini. And so you guys don't, at this point, you just don't have a whole lot of major upheaval. However, both of you may be trying to, again, step back and think about what's going on. Becoming aware of your situation, and it's not about being out in the dark, lost and can't find your flashlight and some other crazy shit, but it's really about just separating enough to step back from the situation and go, okay, is this what I'm trying to do? Is this where I'm trying to go? Therefore becoming the authority, I'm just saying, on what you want and what you need. And Taurus, this is really your overall energy, even though there's a lot of harmony. It may not look like it, but there's a lot of harmony going on in the background. And if I were to take just I call them the emotional cards, little cards on top, if I were to just take what's at the bottom, the big cards, this is not bad shit. This is not bad shit at all. What is holding you down, the back end of your overall energy, this is shit you feel in your gut. Some of you, and this is specifically for Taurus, but it could also be for Gemini as well, you may be coming out of a situation. One of the both of you may be coming out of stressful, draining type situations where whoever it was you were dating or seeing before this pairing just wore you out. And so for some of you, it may be an immediate thing where you are just coming out of a situation and now you find yourself in whatever with Gemini, Taurus, however that's resonating. For others of you, you may be, because we're rolling into Mercury retrograde energy, you may be running into exes and people from the past, and just because Mercury retrograde starts on February whatever date doesn't mean you won't feel the effects of it now. So you may be running into people, or may have already run into some people in the past week or so from your past, and you just kind of dwelling in that emotional loss, the would have beens, the could have beens. But what's on top here is that you are not feeling possessive. That's a good thing, Taurus. Rather strange for us, but you're not feeling possessive. And for some of you, it may be because of this emotional loss that you had in the past. And some of you may be lesson learned. You know, you were too possessive in the past and you messed up another relationship. And so This reverse, it's about being messy and possessive. But that's not the energy coming up off of here. It's about the nurturing, the caring, the sharing of feelings and emotions. All the shit the Queen of Coins is good for in terms of a relationship, the abundance of a relationship. So it's a good thing. Like I said, some of you, with your overall, you may be feeling the pangs of something from the past, but it's all good because it's helping you not be a certain way now in this relationship, and that's a good thing. So that means you've learned a lesson, even with the emotional loss, and you're trying to let go if that resonates with you. When we look at the recent past with the Knight of Coins on top of the spiritual material, I'm not talking tonight, material and spiritual prosperity card. Again, like I'm saying, some of you coming out of situations, and I mean, just look at dude. He got all this stuff. All he needs is his suitcase, and he is good to go. And so Taurus in particular may be coming out of a situation that affected you materially and spiritually. Again, talking about dealing with people that drain you, you know, hooked up with people that just want to plug in and just suck all the life out of you and then leave you for dead. Recent past, baby. That's the recent past. When we move over to the intuition and the Princess of Cups, many of you, Gemini and Taurus alike, took some emotional distance. And again, for those of you that have been separated for any amount of time, for whatever reason, you may have just developed naturally a sense of emotional distance from this person because you weren't there. But if you're coming back together, it's your intuition at some point that kicked in and kind of just guided you back to this person or back into this situation. And again, it's not a bad thing, but this is in your recent past where you may have been just a bit emotionally distant because you were unsure if this could turn into anything. But listening to your intuition, it kind of brought you back. And for some of you, this may be about being in this relationship, and at one point you may have been thinking about leaving, rolling the fuck out, but you listened to your intuition and things got better. Put that there. At the end of the recent past, the fertility card. This is really speaking about relationships coming back together to me for some reason. It's like you're moving from the bigger circle to the smaller circle. And for some of you, this may be a transition in relationship. This may be someone that you've been friends with, and now you're deciding to do something else. For others of you, this may be a friend or a family member of a friend or a family member, and you kind of circling back. You've known this person. They're not totally brand new to you, but now something different has happened. This is in your recent past. It may have had you a little wary, and this is Gemini energy. They may have been a little wary of how they were feeling about you because there may have been things they just didn't know. And that's, you know, all the talking in the corner and shit, and you just kind of walking past and everybody stopped talking. That kind of energy. Just not, Gemini in particular, not real sure if they wanted to even embark on any kind of relationship with you. For others that were separated, may have been a thing while whichever you was away, where they may have decided at one point they weren't going to come back. And this may be something you're not fully aware of or aware of at all, Taurus, Gemini. But the energy is out there. However, still got that fertility thing going on, creativity, which in my readings usually comes back as a lot of harmony and a lot of working together. Not just about being pregnant, because it takes two to get one pregnant. Yes, it does. It takes two to tango. But more than that. More than that. And it's almost like, for a lot of you, it feels like this is maybe a relationship you manifested. And you were pretty dead on with doing that. For others of you, you may have manifested your relationship to another level. Which brings us to our current energy. With the Five of Swords, a lot of you, if this would reverse, we'd be talking about unhealthy relationships. but it's not, but it's still kicking off that energy, and some of you may still be shaking off the dreads, and Gemini in particular, since this is the air card, may be shaking off the dreads of an old relationship, and now they're trying to stand back and see where their behavior may need to change. We just talked about that. Emotional loss, learning lessons. Same energy here. And guess what? Padao, that equals wisdom. That's that knowledge, that applicable knowledge, where you can apply knowledge into every situation and know how to tweak it. That becomes wisdom. And so for, I think, Taurus and Gemini both, you are coming back into this, or renewing yourself back into this with a sense of wisdom. Like, okay, I got it now. I know what I need. I know what I want. And what I had before wasn't it. That's that wisdom. And changing your behavior, literally. How you respond to things, not letting something this person is doing triggering you off into another another kind of existence with some bullshit. So this is a good thing, because the wisdom is there. It's telling me that both of you, if not just one of you, both of you have learned lessons, and you're using that now to move ahead in this relationship. Again, about becoming aware of the totality of the situation, because some of you may be like, well, I'm not, you may not have made that transition yet. You may still be calling yourself friend, when in the physical world, you're more than that. I'm going to just put that there. Not necessarily sex, but when that chemistry just gets started, and becoming aware and working through it. Working through those issues that you may have, especially if this is a newer relationship or a new relationship. But really the energy coming back off of this reading is for rekindles, do-overs, the one that got away type shit. At the end of your current energy, with the patience and planning and the 5 of coins, this is the future. And this is the future with your partner. So we ain't talking about no small fried potato shit. We talking about big slam dunk, whammy dammy type shit. Right there. Patience and planning. And so this is not just the patience card where the dude is sitting back in his chair waiting patiently on love or whatever to flow his way. No. This is the actual movement of you and your partner creating something beautiful, hopefully. Some of you may be going into business together. Some of you may be getting ready to buy a house together. Others of you, ain't no mistake that it's sitting underneath the fertility card, may be getting ready to start a family, and you're trying to make plans now before you actually get to, ooh, baby's coming, to have some things in place. But on top of this, it is requiring many of you, Taurus, I'm talking to you now, to be walking away from some bullshit. Period. And it may, again, not that far from the emotional loss card, with Mercury retrograde coming up, you may be running into this recently ex, however long it's been, 3 months, 3 weeks, 6 months, 8 months, whatever. They may be circling back into your experience, but you're walking away from, put that over here so you can walk into, y'all heard me, you are walking away from so you can walk into. And this is a good thing to walk into. This is about collaboration with your partner. This is about working together. Harmony, damn it, didn't I say it? And just walking straight out of this and into that. No mistakes. No mistakes. None. For your future energy, with the 3 of Cups, there's no cheat energy here. I don't feel that at all. However, I do feel a lot of collaboration. And so for you and your Gemini, this could be work related. You may be working together or working on something together, a creative project, or maybe an educational project, depending on how that's resonating with you. And there may be some struggle there. You may find out that you got a lot of input, not a lot of output from people. So be mindful of that it's sitting on top of the I want card, the sacral chakra card. It's telling me this is what you guys want. You want this kind of collaboration in your life. You want this level of working together in harmony. And harmony, I don't know what the hell with the harmony, but the harmony is all over this reading. And really being in balance, and the yin and the yang of all of it. Get to the middle portion, rejoicing and celebration. Many of you may get to a point here in the near future where you're getting engaged or you decide to move in together. I'm going to take it up and step it up a notch. Drop some of that Ten of Wands fucking stress right off of you immediately. Whatever the celebration is going to be about. And this ain't no birthday party type shit. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So some of you may be getting a ring. Might be a promise ring. Might be an engagement ring. Others of you may be making big plans to move in together. And maybe somewhere down the future getting married. But this is right here where it starts. And being able to let go of a lot of things that have just been burdening you. Particularly you, Taurus. Worrying about, am I going to find the right person? Am I going to be with the right person? What about my job? My car broke down. The kids in school. Da, 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 da. All of that's going to blow right the hell away. And so here we go with your partnerships and alliances. This is romantic as well as professional. So like I said, many of you may be going into business with your Gemini or Taurus or both or whatever, however you want to put it. And so again, that spirit of harmony is just loud in this card. But it's going to require you not to be so damn guarded. A lot of you have done, Taurus, I'm talking to you in particular now, you've done an exceptional job of trying to kind of go with Uranus and go with the flow and change and being open to new opportunities or whatever. But you may still be just a bit too guarded and not having let go enough. This is future energy. So you may find a point in your near future within the next month or so where you may want to do something, but you still may be holding on to some of this shit that you need to be walking away from. And I have a feeling for a lot of you, Taurus in particular, you're going to be bumping into people during this Mercury retrograde that you don't necessarily, these are the people you call. You want the phone to just ring so your name can pop up and then hang up just so you can say you call. Yeah, this is going to be that kind of Mercury retrograde. Running into people that you don't necessarily kind of want to deal with anymore. You may still have some feeling there, and again, it's on the table, so it's at play everywhere. Emotional loss. You may still be just kind of dealing with. Many of you may be just coming right up out of a relationship because, like I say, universe don't give a fuck about a Rolex or a clock. It works on its own time. So many of you may be immediately coming out of one situation and going into this situation with your Gemini, and you may still be experiencing some pain from the emotional loss. You've been duking it out for a year, 2 years, 5 years with somebody else on some bullshit, and then you get to the end of it and nothing. It'll do it to you. But just be mindful, and again, it's about the awareness. Being aware, situationally aware, as they say, of how you're feeling, what the totality of your relationship is with your Gemini, understanding your part in everything, and working through. Maybe details you have to sit up at night and just kind of process. I don't ever condone doing that. I just believe you get in bed, fuck it, go to sleep. But you may need to work through. It might not be just a nighttime thing. You may need to methodically work yourself through some of the challenges you may see coming up in the future. Again, it's all about being aware. And a lot of times you don't need to figure something out. You just need to be aware of that situation. I don't know who I'm talking to, but okay. Right there. Let's see what the Oracle cards have for you, Taurus. I think I'm going to go with these. I might use both decks. What the hell? Actually, I think I'm going to use my RebelDeck. So we'll pull some out of here and we'll pull some out of there. See what advice we have universe for Taurus Gemini pairing for the month of February 2020. Yeah. The Swan Queen, the Fire Prince, and the Spirit Whisperer. And I get the Rebel cards over here. Yeah. Trying to fall out. All right, let's see. You are being shady. Shit is going down with your job. Reevaluate or change your perspective or fucking quit. We'll come back to this. You need a good fucking cry. Get the ugly cry on. Let that shit go. Your soul will thank you. Boom. Okay. We're going to come back to the Rebel cards. So, in this deck, the Swine Queen was about transformation, intuition, and patience. I'm going with all three. Taurus, automatically, you know all about transformation. If you've been watching me, it's all I've been talking about for the past year and a half, but okay. But something about this relationship is going through a transformation. This is not a bad thing. And the transformation is almost like going from winter to spring. Let's say it like that. From winter to spring. Where snow starts melting. If you've got snow, trees and plants start budding, killing your allergies. Y'all hear me? Start seeing the little critters running around. That kind of slow, easy transition. And that's the kind of transformation you need, especially when it comes to relationships. Taurus, I'm talking to you now. That kind of slow, easy, just kind of, you know, abrupt change with Taurus is not just, it's not a pretty look. It just isn't. Literally like trying to run a bull through a china shop. It's not pretty. This energy is just real easy. So however this is resonating with you, if you're taking this Taurus Gemini relationship up a notch, going from moving in to getting engaged, or from engaged to getting married, for those of you that are on the circuit of redoing it again, redid it again, made a mistake, Mercury retrograde right here. This right here about the transformation, that transformation of from being friends to being lovers. Y'all hear me? The Fire Prince, optimism and aggression. I'm going with optimism. Just how important it needs to be, especially when you got this kind of shit going on right here. To be optimistic and just expect the best out of your situation, and know that the universe is supporting you as you go through whatever transition, transformation, whatever you want to call it. I think sometimes we don't put enough on optimism. We call it everything else, being positive and some more shit, but just being optimistic, having an optimistic outlook on how you're seeing your situation. Again, that awareness, and not having that whole negative train of thought thing taking you on some kind of Memorex loop, you know, and it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. Yeah, coming out of that and taking a more optimistic view of what's going on with you. And the universe wants you to do, is encouraging you to do this, so you can expect the best, because that's what you're gonna get. But if you ride this part of it all mad, angry, and upset, and when you get to Padow, I'm here, and you're mad, angry, and upset because for whatever reason it wasn't moving fast enough, you couldn't see it, whatever, that's not going to be a good energy to be. So keeping an optimistic outlook about your situation and your relationship. The Spirit Whisperer, divine guidance and higher knowing, and I'm just going with both of those, especially if this is a situation where you've known a person and you didn't see them for a while and you bumped into each other and pow. That's a divine guidance, just kind of pushing you along. So be mindful with this relationship, which if you're in a Taurus Gemini relationship and it is working, there is some divine guidance there. I'm just saying. Despite what you may have in your natal chart, you know, it could be some good shit and it's still fucked up relationship. So divine guidance, it's here and it's operating in your relationship. Be thankful and be grateful for it. The Rebel cards, I'm missing one. shit is going down with your job. For some of you, on the back end of all of this emotional relationship energy, you may have some shit going on with your job. And that may be where some of this emotional loss is coming from for some of you. If that is the case, the back of it says, reevaluate, change your perspective, or fucking quit. Now this is what it will say. Don't let no job ruin your relationship, and don't let a relationship ruin your job. You work out the meat and potatoes on that one. But don't let nothing mess up nothing. Period. And a lot of times, Taurus, you know, we're good. We get on something, it's like, whoa, never mind. If it's bugging you that bad, I guarantee it's having a negative impact on your relationship. And while things may be going swimmingly right now, you keep hanging around this toxic bullshit, I'm just saying, and you're going to start seeing it manifest itself in your personal relationship, and that is most certainly not what you want. You are being shady. Watch out, shit could get ugly. So, I don't know, some of you may be doing some shady shit. The energy that's kind of coming back, maybe some of you might be still trying to dilly-dally with the dilly-dally from the past. If you're trying to make your Taurus Gemini shit work, and whoever I'm talking to, Taurus or Gemini, if you want it to work, you don't need to be carrying around no extra energy because you're doing some shady shit. That, once again, is going to impact your relationship, and not in a good way. So whoever this is for, watch out. It could get ugly. Just saying. You need a good fucking cry. Get the ugly cry on. Let that shit go. Your soul will thank you. Those of you that are still maybe feeling some emotional loss from past relationships, let that shit go. Get your cry on one good time and then be done with it. You can't change the past. You can't change people. It is what it is. Okay, Taurus and Gemini, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a good rest of the week and a good weekend. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.